Hello, today I wanted to go over the basics of planes, a little bit of features, and a little bit of 3D sketch to define planes. This is the way that works the best for me. Other people might do it different, but I think it's pretty quick and gets the, gets the job done. So let's go on with the tutorial. Let's start a new project. And first of all, you got to select a plane. Depends on the model that you're doing. If I was to do this model, I'd probably start with this circle, and that would be the front plane. So I'd start the front plane and work and do everything else. So, but for now, we're just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to put a sketch on the top plane. So I select top plane, and then right when you come here, you have choices of to hide or normal to and sketch. So we'll sketch on that. And I'm going to just put a square. And I'm not going to dimension anything for this tutorial to make it a little bit quicker. So we'll say that's okay. And I'm going to extrude this out. Okay, so now the way sketching works in SolidWorks is you can sketch on any flat plane. Any of these I could start sketching on. But you have to start on either a plane or a face. So we'll start on this so we can keep going. I'm going to sketch on this plane. So I just select the face and I select sketch. And now I can start sketching. And so I'm going to make a little something so we can go with this tutorial. I want to just make a little something and make it centered. And I'll give it a horizontal relationship so that it stays nice. And reverse that. Okay. So now we have our feature here. And now if I wanted to put a plane, if I wanted to put a revolve or something in the center of this, you could just select this plane. You could just select this face and put a circle and extrude it through or whatever. But if you wanted something that was a revolve and it was more than a circle, you would have to put a plane there. So to put a plane in the center of this, I will select 3D sketch, and then I'll select my point tool, and then I'll hover there and I'll show the center. I'll put a point there and I'll get out a 3D sketch. And now from there I select any plane. I'll select this face and then I'll select plane, and then it gives you a plane, and then you have to define it with a second reference. So our second reference will be that one, and I'll click to accept, and now I got it in the center there. And that'll work for here too. If I wanted a plane going this way in the center, all I would do is select that face, select plane, and then select that, and then I got my plane, and it's in the center. So that's one way of getting planes. Now let me just delete these. Alright, and another way of planes is to select the face, select planes, now to give you a plane. And now you can put a number here. You could drag it, actually you can't. You could put a number, whatever number you want, and you can keep going. And you can also, you say you wanted 30 degrees, but you want it, or 30 millimeters away, but you want to flip it. So you just flip that and it'll flip what side it does the 30 millimeter on. We'll accept that. And another way you could do planes if you don't have an exact or need an exact number is you can just wait till you see that cross, that blue cross, and hit and hold control down and then start dragging, and you'll get a plane that way. Sometimes it might take a minute to click in, so that's how that works. And you could just drag this to whatever number you want, and then you let go, and then you could press your right mouse button to accept that, and now we have our plane there. If you wanted a plane at a 45 off of here, the way I would do it is first I would check to see if I have a plane in the center, and I do because of the way I took this first extrusion. I gave it a midpoint extrusion, so I have a plane in the center. So I would select that plane and sketch on that plane, and then I would take my guide tool, guideline, and I would make one, and I'd make another there. On this one I would anchor it, and now I can give this an angle and say I want this 45 degrees. I just type 45, and now I have a 45 degree angle here. Now there's two things you could do here to get a plane. Now I can either select this, or actually let me select the plane first, and I select the edge, the end, and then I select this, and now I have a plane there at a 45. And let me just get rid of that so it doesn't confuse me. And another way to make a plane is I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to go to my top plane now, or my top view, and then I'm going to make another line with the 3D sketch. Okay, so now we have that. And now for this to work, it's quite easy. We get out of 3D sketch. And now I select my plane, select one, select two, and now I have a plane at a 45 also. And that's how you make that plane. I think that's pretty much the basics. Also, I'll show you one more way. Let me get rid of all this. Okay, another way is if you knew where you want to put a certain plane, you can always just sketch on here, and then you can always say you wanted a plane that was straight with this, and now you can always put a point wherever you want on this line, and just like that, I'll select a face, select plane, and then I'll just select that point, and then I got my plane right to that point. And I think that's it for planes on the basics. Thank you.